Very nice. Vegan prepper. Vegan prepper. Started making lunch and I'm filming a breakfast cup video, which is going to release, it's going to be released earlier than this one. So anyway, I will link down below if you want to see the recipe for these breakfast bites, not breakfast cups. But one of the things I like to do sometimes if I'm, using veggies, specifically with onions and peppers. So here are some onions that I cut up at some point. I like to just take these and freeze them like on a plate on some parchment in the fridge or in the freezer, obviously in the freezer, because you don't have to blanch them or do anything to them if you want to freeze them. If you want to dehydrate them, people debate that you can have better results if you blanch first or whatever, but honestly, a lot of times I just take the rest of the onion if I'm not using it and I just freeze it. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. You guys got an awesome shot of my double chin there. With the leftovers of this bell pepper that I cut up for this recipe, because normally what we do with leftover bell pepper is we just eat it. But this one was kind of already going just a tiny bit wrinkly, so it's not like the most appealing to eat, but it's still totally fine to cook with. So I'm going to basically get these onions into this container and start a little container of frozen onions in my freezer. And then once this is empty, I'll get these onto the same parchment paper on the same plate in the same spot in the freezer. And then these will get frozen and I'll start a little container of my frozen bell peppers just for making my own frozen veggies to toss into stir fries and things like that. And then obviously that is super handy because also these are organic and I don't know, it's just really nice. This is really handy. So specifically with onions and with peppers, no blanching, no nothing. You can just toss those right into the freezer. And also, even if they get frozen on the plate, they're not, you saw the onions, they were not really separate at all. And they're separating now just fine. They're going into the container and I'll be able to grab handfuls for, recipes or sauteing or whatever. And I don't have to cut up onions. So that's pretty darn great. So anyway, just thought I'd share that little tip. Okay, so here are the onions and they're just great. And now here are the peppers ready to go in that same spot and just get frozen for their own container. Sage's lunch, she requested from the choices I gave her is brown toast, which means bread, which is, this is 100% whole wheat, homemade bread with sun butter on top. This is the one that we use. We've got a peanut allergy in house, so we use sun butter. We just absolutely love this one. I will say it doesn't have a ton of flavor of its own because it doesn't have any added sugar or salt. So it's really great in a sandwich with like jam, or in something like this where you put something on that's a little salty, but just by itself. I find it plain. Adam loves it, but I kind of think you need a little extra, but just as an FYI, but I really do love that one. And then she gets everything bagel seasoning on top. So I'm going to chop this up into pieces and get it into her plate. Right in here is her plate. Oh, she's sneaking crust. It's taking me way too long to get this done and get it over to her, poor thing. But yeah, I love this thing. I feel like it's worth its weight in gold. I will say it is pricey. They're about $20 each. But you know, my daughter is insanely picky. And I used to think that it was just bad parenting when parents would talk about kids that were picky eaters. And I feel like I want to go back in time and smack myself. But we have experienced now what it is to have a picky eater. But I gotta say, this plate has been a game changer, life changer for us. And so I want to talk about it. I'm not sponsored whatsoever. I will leave a link down below. It will be through my Amazon affiliate link, but if you don't feel like going through my link, just go and look up dinner winner plate. And like I said, they're about $20 each. But if you have a picky child, this thing is just beyond amazing. Apparently it's also incredible, like for kids who are on the spectrum, or, you know, sometimes like people who have sensory issues. And even though it looks like a little kid silly little amount plate, there's actually quite a lot of space here. So if you fill these little whatever cubbies or little spots, it will be a lot of food. So that is one thing that I will have to say, like if you are using it for a small child, or you're planning to only put like 1 or 2 bites of food per thing, or like, you know, a couple blueberries. And so normally there will be like some variety, but it works out really perfectly for her toast as well, because I just cut it into 16 pieces and there's 8 spots, and each spot gets 2 little pieces of toast, and she just sort of works her way through that. And then she gets a little treat at the end, and we haven't decided yet what her treat is. So I'll have her pick her treat, and then this thing self-motivates her. She will eat it all by herself, and I won't have to yell at her. I shouldn't yell at her anyway, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, come on, we're real parents here. You know, sometimes you're like, chew and swallow. I'm turning off the TV if you don't chew. And then I just revealed even more about sucky parenting, that she watches TV while she eats. Okay, sometimes it happens. All right. I'd love to tell you that we spend absolutely every single one of our meals gathered around the table, looking into each other's eyes and discussing our lives, but we don't, okay? So anyway, I'm in the middle of shooting a video, and I need to get this, like another video on top of this one. I need to get this to my daughter. So anyway, hopefully you guys still like me. I'm just like a little too real sometimes. All right, are you happy with the meal?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
Thank you, Chef.
I'm the chef, and you are my customer. Mwah. All right, I love you. I'm getting ready to put on my makeup because I am filming one more video today, and then I also still need to film the intro for the breakfast bite video, even though they're done and they are delicious. So I'm going to eat this one while I'm doing my makeup. But yeah, these are made with chickpea flour and almond flour, and they're amazing. So there is actually a recipe, because I was still testing the recipe. I wasn't 100% sure about it, so I put like a shot of the recipe card in another day in the life video, and I just honestly can't remember which one it was. So that is honestly, that happens a lot if you watch the day in the life videos, that you get stuff sometimes before I release the official videos. And I'm not just trying to get you to watch the day in the life videos, because obviously you're already watching it, and if you're watching this, then you're still watching. So you're one of the people who actually wants to watch. So, but I also have to say that it isn't always, like, they don't always have like Easter eggs or whatever. But yeah, I'm getting ready to do my makeup because I'm trying to be a little bit more professional about the videos, release them on a more regular pattern, and sort of start trying to take this a little bit more seriously, even though it has been serious, but like to actually really put effort into doing this. I realized that I basically still put video making kind of at the bottom of my list, and I want to stop that. I want to start making it a priority, because for me, it is a priority. It's my passion. I'm really grateful for this opportunity, for this venue to kind of sow into people's lives, hopefully something good and to be helpful. But you know, I have a passion for teaching. That's always what I've done. Like I've taught, you know, craft classes in my former life, like just, so much crafting going on and just helping. But like, I hate saying helping people because that feels like it makes it more about me. I really want to empower people, to sort of learn how to do their own thing and figure out, I don't know, like their own strength, and step into their own strength. And then, I don't know, I feel more like I just kind of want to give a boost. And that's kind of what my job is. And I hope that I do that. But anyway, yeah, so I'm passionate about it and I need to start treating it like it is my passion and it is a priority, and stop making it bottom of the list. Stop doing nothing but these day in the life videos, which are just kind of filmed like at the drop of a hat. Whatever I can film in the moment is what I get filmed, and just start actually doing more work towards making real content for the channel. And so that is what I am looking forward to. But don't worry, I'm never going to stop doing these, because I feel almost like little videos like this, and then videos where I just sit and I chat, that ends up being, hopefully it will kind of maintain the soul of the channel, even as I also work towards making what I consider real videos, that are, you know, full of actual information and like helpful for people. And so yeah, anyway, that's it. So yes, makeup so that I can film the intro for the breakfast hut video, and also then film, I think, a hot chocolate bucket video. I don't know that I'm going to get to my pantry reorganization today. This might end up just being kind of behind the scenes, day in the life, and kind of what goes into filming. It's it's a lot. I'm all done. And then just as a quick tip, if you end up losing mascara when you do your makeup, wait for it to dry completely before you try to flick it off or flake it off. Flick it off, flake it off. And then that way you won't get smears. Like I think, yeah, see there. I've been talking long enough that I can just sort of, because it's actually my second take now. So you just sort of remove it and then it just comes off and there's no smears. If you try to clean it up while it is kind of freshly fallen on your face, you're gonna end up with smears. So just let it dry completely and then it should flake right off. But as an aside, I don't know if anybody wonders or cares. I'm trying to decide, like, so I'm gonna talk about this really fast, and sorry if you could not care less. But because of the fact that I am, you know, I'm vegan, so I'll mention a lot of what I use is Pacifica brand. So like, here's my foundation. It is, I would say it's like a pricier version of a makeup that you can just like buy in a store. You can usually find it in Whole Foods, and I'm not sure if Ulta still sells it, but it's not one that you usually can find like in a Walmart, or even Target, which I was surprised that you can't find it in Target. But anyway, although you might be able to in your area, but I use Pacifica. The entire line is 100% vegan. So I love Pacifica because you don't have to think about it. However, one of the things about them is that they will update their products and update the formulations, which I guess I kind of appreciate. As they find, what they say is, as they find better ingredients, they may update their formulas. But like the latest version of this mascara, which is, I hate spending this much for mascara, but I have really sensitive eyes. And so this is a vegan mascara that doesn't bother my eyes. It's $15. It's not cheap. But the latest version of this or something, I don't know what's going on with this particular mascara this time, but it feels like every time I put it on I end up with tons of flaked off mascara down here, or like it just falls off the brush, and I don't know if it was dry when I bought it or it seems like it's still very wet. I don't know. So I'm trying to decide if I'm going to buy this again, but mascaras are something that is very difficult for me because of my eyes. Like finding one that works is really difficult. I've used some of the most expensive some of the most expensive fancy mascara brands that you can think of that just have me watery in tears, you know, like the Smashbox, all kinds of ones, and like they can be good, but they're not good. Anyway, I don't think those are vegan. I'm just talking about way back in the day when I used to get a lot more makeup. I will say the one thing that I still spend top dollar on as far as makeup goes, I used to be like really into makeup, like really. Now I'm down to only one little container of makeup, and even that is pretty minimalist. The one thing that I spend on is my eyeshadow. There is a major difference between drugstore eyeshadow and the more expensive brands of eyeshadow. So this was, I'm trying to remember, so this is the one that I use. This is the Urban Decay Naked 3 Mini. It is a 100% vegan formula, vegan eyeshadow palette. I was very excited when Urban Decay started coming out with vegan eyeshadows. They have another palette which is like all greens, and I'm not going to buy it. Oh, look, there we are. Hi. It's like into infinity. Anyway, they have like greens and stuff. But anyway, I'm just very minimalist. This is going to be it. This is the only eyeshadow palette that I will have. In addition to this one I got from Pacifica. This is the one I tried to use before I bought this one, and this one's just not pigmented enough. I'm spoiled by those more expensive eyeshadows. And so this one, I can't remember, this might have been a Valentine's Day present from Adam. I don't, so it's like a thing, and I just got it like a few months ago, and I'm truly in love with that. And then I'm also very happy to say that the Urban Decay Primer eyeshadow potion is also vegan, and then these two are expensive. I buy them at Sephora. I don't trust online shopping. I will not trust it. So, or I could go to like Ulta or whatever shop you have around you that sells some of the more expensive makeup brands. But you, of course, don't have to do any of that. I definitely do plenty without makeup. You see me all the time without makeup. But I do like to put it on when I'm being a little bit more professional and, you know, I don't know, or to dress up or like go on a date or something. I still like to look nice, even though for me, it's not like I have to put makeup on or else I can't show my face in public, you know, like I'm not like that, but I do like it. And yeah, so if anyone was curious, that is the makeup that I use. And yeah, this is normally, I talk a lot about budget stuff on this channel. This is one area where I spend the money because that's it. And that right there, I believe is, I think the major difference between frugal and cheap. So like if you're cheap, you never spend money on anything, right? But if you're frugal, you're careful with the way that you spend your money. And then occasionally there is something that's more expensive that is worth it, and you spend your money there. And so for me, having gorgeous eyeshadow is like majorly important. So I need gorgeous eyeshadow. So I spend my money on it, but I am really happy that they have that kind of smaller palette. So anyway, and then there we are. There's my eyeshadow. And it's beautiful. I love it. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous eyeshadow. I'm thrilled to pieces that their vegan formula is every bit as good as the old formula, which I totally remember because that's what I used to wear. So anyway, it came time finally for me to replace all of my old eyeshadow. Like they were embarrassingly old. And so I went ahead and got the new eyeshadow, and I got the new vegan eyeshadow. And that's kind of how I do a lot of things in my life. I'll keep using the old thing until it's like not usable anymore, even if it doesn't happen to be vegan. And then when I replace that thing, I'll replace it with something vegan. So anyway, that's just how I kind of do it myself. So I need to film the intro to that breakfast bite video. And yeah, I'm getting ready now to, so like the breakfast bite video is totally done. And it's produced, and I haven't started uploading yet, but it's done. So yay, I finished a whole video today, like another extra whole video. And now I'm going to do the hot chocolate mix bucket video. So this one, I think I am going to have hit after this one right here. But there is already a recipe for the hot cocoa mix on the channel, and I will link that down below. But I'm going to basically talk about specifically how to make kind of a large quantity, and that's specifically what the other video is about. So anyway, yeah, I guess I'll get on to actually filming that. So like I set up the tripod and everything for that video, and so I'm gonna get into that video now. Hot chocolate video is done. It's not edited yet, but it's filmed. So I need to get that together and edited now, but I'm not going to do that yet. That probably isn't going to happen until tomorrow, because I'm not planning on releasing that video for like another 4 or 5 days. So I have a little bit of time on that. But basically, it's after 5. Poor little Sage has been waiting pretty much all day to play the plant game. So it's this game that we have. It's wild. It is a really good little game. Sort of teaches herbs and stuff. I wish it was a little bit more specific about how you use each herb for each thing, but I'm wondering if there's a reason, like a legal reason, they couldn't include that information. Regardless, I think it prompts a lot of good conversations and research to find out, you know, this plant is good for this. And it's like, wow, really? I didn't know that. How would it be good for that? And like research into it for the older kids. And even like my husband and even myself, you know, like we've had some really great conversations and discoveries about some plants as a result of our own research based upon what the game shows. There is extra content where you can have like a story being read by somebody throughout the game when you land on certain spots. So that potentially could make it more interesting and also give more information in the actual story itself. But I don't think that Sage's attention span is quite there for like just listening to a whole bunch of words coming at her with like no pictures or whatever. So we just sort of play the game straight up for now, and it's you know, it's entertaining enough. It's not necessarily the most exciting thing on earth, but I like it. It's a beautiful little thing, and I'm very happy with it. And then as she gets older, hopefully we can start including more of that content that makes the game like more rich. But she wants to play, and so she's learning her plants really well and the troubles, and like she knows which plants go with which trouble is what they call it. Like if you get a scraped knee or something like that. And so she knows the combinations of plants, but like they don't go into specifics, like I said, of like this is a salve, or like you would use this as a tea, or anyway. So I'm making a little checklist. So basically what's next is Elliot and I are going to watch The Queen Show. So we're watching finishing an episode of The Crown. Actually, we started yesterday and didn't quite finish. Once we're finished with that, we are going to make dinner, we being me mainly. It's going to be a super simple dinner. I'm going to throw dinner together, and then after Mom has dinner in the oven, we will do the plant game while dinner is cooking. And so I'm going to make her a little checklist because she really loves that, especially on a day like today where she's been told a lot that she has to wait and she has to kind of, you know, let Mommy work and whatnot. And so it's difficult on days like that. I feel like, if I'm honest, if I feel accomplished in almost any other area of my life, it means that I also at the same time feel like a terrible mother. I don't know if anybody else is out there who deals with that. I try really hard to focus my energy and my attention on my kids, but like I also have to get stuff done. I can't only sit around like reading to them or you know, doing all the little ideal things that I would love to live my life in that way. I just can't do that. I would go insane. So I need other things to do, and I don't think that it's wrong or bad for them to see work happening, especially as they get to help a little bit here and there. And then we did spend time this morning like shopping and walking around and doing stuff that it was mainly Elliot. Elliot wanted to go do that. But then Sage and I got to hang out and be together, and she enjoys that too. So anyway, I don't know. I guess, yeah, I'm going to make my checklist and get on with my day. I have a checklist for you. You want to see it? Yeah? There.
What is it?
What is it? It's what we're going to do next.
What is it to go next?
We are going to watch... What is that?
Queen.
Right, the Queen Show. Good job.
What's that?
It's
A pot.
It is a pot. You were right.
What-
So that's
what's
like
this?
cooking dinner.
What's this?
What does it look like?
I don't know.
You don't know? Did I not do a very good job? It's like the cards and the spinner.
It's going to the slide.
Yeah, you know what that is. What is that?
It's round the slide. Someone cannot get in the middle. This is a spinner who goes round and round and round.
Yeah, it's a spinner. It goes round and round and round.
So
What is it?
I don't know what is all of these things.
Look, silly goose.
You stuck.
It's the plant game.
That's where we play.
Yeah, so this is our list. First, watch the Queen Show. Next, make dinner. Then, the plant game.
And what's this?
The spinner.
A spinner?
Yeah.
And I'll play the dice.
You will use the dice and Mommy will use the spinner.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And that's what we will do. All right, we'll go tell Elliot. I'm like, now what is this on my nose? Sage, are you getting the game set up?
Yeah.
And then I am going to make dinner.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're finally getting ready to put dinner in the oven. Sage has been waiting so patiently, but now Adam is home, scarfing leftover brownies. And so basically this week on the meal plan, pretty much every meal has to do with potatoes because we have a lot of potatoes that need to get used up. So normally Tuesday night, today is Tuesday, is baked pasta night, but instead of doing pasta, I'm doing potatoes. If you have never had potatoes and marinara, I know it probably sounds crazy, but it's just absolutely delicious. So though I can't, I can't not have some sort of veggie or some sort of green in the food. So I chopped up a whole bunch of spinach as well, which is going to just go over top. And I'm going to pour sauce over the top and probably not show that because I need both hands for that. But pour sauce over the top, get this in the oven. And then at the same time, I'm going to make another batch of carob brownies. This is vegan pumpkin brownies. I will link the recipe down below, but I change it. I add carob and I'm playing with flavors right now. I'm playing with tweaking this recipe and turning it into more actual fudgy type brownies, which the original recipe is very cakey and still absolutely delicious. So it's still a really good recipe, but I'm working on tweaking it myself right now, which will probably be a future video at some point. But I'm gonna get the sauce on this, get these into the oven, and then Sage with dinner is all in the oven and it's cooking. And then what is it time for?
I don't know.
What's on the next on the list? Make dinner, check. And then what? And then what?
We show the list.
Oh, you want to show the list to Daddy?
Yeah.
Can you guess from what's on the table what's next on the list?
Maybe game time?
Yes. You don't have to play. I was thinking it would be done before you got home. Oh, there's Sage's checklist.
Wow.
It's clean show and cooking. It's cooking.
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 And the game. Yes, it's time for the game. As promised. Seriously, you don't have to play. Okay, there it is with the sauce on top. This is my slightly modified omega-3 pasta sauce recipe. So that recipe is already on the channel. I'll put it in the link or in the description box below. But the way that I modify it is I've cut the flax in half because I don't know what's been going on with the flax lately I've been using, but it like turns it into almost like marinara jello. It's really unpleasant. So I've cut the flax in half, and then I also add an extra half cup of water and 1/2 cup of TVP, which is 100% optional. You don't have to do that. And if you don't add the TVP, then you don't need to add any extra water. You can just add beans instead with no extra water and like canned beans and still make a really delicious thing. But yeah, this is just a super fast thing. And we're going to play a game. And I also have some veggies I'm going to put out, just like finger food type veggies to have with the meal. And it's going to go in the oven. We're going to play the game. I cut the camera off right before Adam was like, I don't mind playing. Of course he doesn't mind playing. He's basically a walking saint on this earth. But yeah, get this in the oven. We're gonna play a game. And then in a little while, we're gonna eat. Here are the final plates of the cooked part. And so there is a lot of sauce kind of left over dripping onto the plate. So I just grabbed our last little bit of bread. It was about that thick and I just cut it the other way to make little thin pieces to mop up some of the sauce. And then we have our veggies I'm going to get out, just like peppers and cucumbers and carrots and stuff. And then here is how the carob brownies turned out. They look super cakey this time. Now I'm like, I don't know what I did different this time that made them super cakey. I'll figure it out. But anyway, we'll cut into those once they're cool, probably by the time we're finished eating all of our dinner.
You can't get me. You can't get me.
You're like on the same team, right?
You can't get.
This is a cooperative game, Sage.
Hey, I thought it was your turn.
It is my turn. I'm just trying to take nice video of us playing the game. Alright, so brownies are insanely good. This is the best batch yet. As soon as I have a finalized recipe, I'm absolutely going to post it. And I wanted to mention, in case I didn't mention before, that these are carob. So they aren't even chocolate. They're just insanely good. And that is speaking as somebody who still eats chocolate. Alright, so I guess it's kind of the end of the night now, and I'm all basically settled in. Gonna watch a little bit of TV before we turn in and go to bed. So thank you so much for joining me today. I guess since I mentioned it earlier about my makeup being Pacifica, my face stuff is also Pacifica, my wash and my moisturizer. The kind of cool thing about Pacifica, specifically with their face products and like body care products like shampoos and body washes and things, is that they have a recycling program. So basically you can go to the website and find a little spot where you can tell them which containers you have that are empty, and they will send you a shipping label where you can then mail your packaging back to them, and then they recycle it and like turn it into razors and stuff. So it's a pretty cool program. It's a bummer that it doesn't extend to their makeup packaging, but at least like moisturizers and face washes and things like that, and lotions and stuff like all of that, they have a packaging recycling program for that. So okay, it is seriously late, and seriously it is time to just relax a bit. So thank you for joining me today, and as always, I hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. See you guys in the next one. Bye.